Hi, this is Terry Healy, bringing you some extraordinary transformation. I want to thank everybody who's tuning in. You're listening to WVLP at 103.1 FM, also live streaming at WVLP.org. I want to thank our show's underwriter, Marian Eberhardt, with Diamond Residential Mortgage. Don't assume all mortgage companies are the same and all mortgage loan officers are the same. They're not. Ryan is exceptional. He truly cares about his clients and their families and their pocketbooks. So hunt him down. He's a great guy. His office is conveniently located on Route 30 in Valparaiso. He's at 350 Northland Drive. And his direct phone line is area code 219-406. Oh, no, wait a second. That's mine. 707-4289. Sorry about that, Ryan. But thanks for supporting the show. Today, I have an opportunity to interview a really, really fascinating young gal. I've just met her, but she's kind of been in the radar a little bit lately for me. I am with Breanne Zolfo.
Yep, correct.
And she is the owner of a coffee shop in Crown Point called Cafe Fresco, right on the corner on the square.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. This coffee shop came by my radar. I guess, how long did you tell me you'd own it?
6 years now.
6 years,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not been quite that long for me, but I remember kind of the claim to fame and what's kind of gotten you a little bit of notoriety lately is that you kind of hand detail some coffee sleeves for your coffee cups on the to-go cups.
So it started when we originally opened because we didn't know how busy we were going to be. And so we started doing it on our free time, that we would just write the sleeves, and then it became like a thing that people wanted the sleeves and they would look forward to the quotes that it said. So then we're like, okay, this is like a real thing now. Like we have to keep it up.
Uh-oh. Be careful what you promise, right?
Yeah. Which has become cool though, because it's nice that people look so forward to them, and it's like their one bit of inspiration in the day, which is awesome.
Right. Well, and I think, it is a bit of inspiration for the day, and that's kind of how I found my way to you. I mean, I probably just happened in here just to try a different coffee. You know, it's kind of what brought me through the doors originally. But there's something about when you come in and you get that, and I think because it's handwritten, it almost feels like somebody wrote that just for me.
Yeah.
And here's this uplifting message that it just I had mentioned when I first met Breanne that. It almost felt like that message was written just for me. Like it was like somebody said, "Oh gosh, Terry's going to stop in here today, and she needs to hear this. Let's put it on her coffee cup."
So many people have said that though, because they'll come back and say like, "This was written exactly for me," or "This is what I needed to hear." And it's just cool to think like when we're intentional about writing them, that people say like, "That's what they need to hear. That's what they needed." And it's cool to know that when you're writing a simple inspirational message in the morning or whenever, that like it's touching someone or affecting somebody like that. Right. Which is awesome. Yeah. Well,
and in my world, I don't think there's any accidents.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Like that sleeve happened to like roll up in the pile like right around the time that, oh, there's Terry parking her car and that sleeve works its way up.
No, and it's cool to see it develop like that because like I said, we started just to like fill time. And it became like a big part of the cafe. Like it became such a big part that people look forward to, and people tell their friends, and they post on social media. And so it's like this simple thing just like blew up from there,
It's and one of the things I told her when we had talked about doing the radio show was I still have 2 of those sleeves like on my refrigerator. Yeah. Like they're on the clamp and they're kind of waiting, because heaven knows there might be another day that rolls around that I need to hear that again.
Yeah.
Because it's what kind of prompted you to do that of all things? I mean, it wasn't to generate business. You were just...
No, and it's like a lot of people go through their days without having something positive in their life. And I think that's what sparked the whole idea in the beginning, was that there's so many people that go through their day that don't have any like good things that happen or any bits of inspiration. And so for us to play that small part in it is awesome. Like we get to be that part of their day that's actually good or inspiring or something like that, because there's people that just go throughout their day just like in a routine and they don't like get that little bit of inspiration. So it's cool to play that part.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
So that really came from a pretty selfless place for you.
Yeah, it was never about getting more business or like doing anything for the business. It's just like we can play some small part in people's lives to like have that impact on them, and how cool it is that we take up that opportunity to be able to do that.
Right. How rare that is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have good ideas, but sometimes it's like underneath an agenda.
Yeah.
Is what you see. Like they're thinking, oh, what can be like trendy or cute or or that kind of set you apart in the marketplace, because heaven knows there's a lot of different coffee shops and things like that out there, but and each one has its own feel.
Yeah.
When you go in, and I know where I like to meet with clients, and that's here.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah. So just because it feels good. Yeah, the staff feels good, the place feels good. So,
well, and that's what we always say, is that there's no ulterior motives and no strings attached, because a lot of the things that my staff and I have come to realize is that we just want to do good things for the community. Like, the community is what supported us for 6 years. Like, there's no ulterior motives, no strings attached. Like, we just want to give back to the community that's given us so much in 6 years. Like, they've supported us from day one and come out and got their coffee and have their food and everything here, and so they've supported us. Like, the least we can do is support them and give back to them something that'll help their day.
And it truly does. It really, really does. For those of you who haven't been, you need to circle around here. She's right on the square in downtown Ground Point.
Yeah.
Easy parking, because you've got the two streets.
Which is nice.
It is really nice. Yes, especially when you're in a hurry.
Yeah.
You just got to run in and get your coffee and run out.
I need a drive-through though now. If we can get a drive-through on 231.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
goodness.
what I need.
You probably need a whole separate location.
I know, that's a good idea.
That's what I'm thinking. That would be the thing. Is that and do you think you're losing a percentage of business because of not having that?
Well, I feel like I think it would take away from what we're trying to create in the business, because we're trying to be like a slow, intentional, like, business where everyone appreciates the quality that we're producing. And so that's why we do the pour over method versus like a big brewer.
Yes.
Because we want it to be like intentional and everything brewed per cup, and we want like that simplicity. And I think that if we had a drive through, it would take away from that like big part of our business.
I agree.
And so I don't know if we would ever want to go. I mean, the idea of a drive through sounds cool, but I don't know if that follows our business model or like what we're intending to do with the business.
Well, and I like when you just said like that all your cups are pour over. It does take maybe another minute to get your cup of coffee, and it's definitely worth it for sure. I mean,
so
just,
good.
Yeah, just to even have it done that way, you don't realize, and until you just said it, I thought that's why it tastes so good. Why is it like this at home?
It makes a big difference though, and even though it takes 3 minutes, like those 3 minutes mean a lot, because it's like brewed per cup, the beans are ground per cup, like everything's fresh. And so by doing that, we're maintaining the quality of it. And I think if we had a drive-through, that would take away from it. I mean, I would ideally love to have a drive-through, just because I feel like there's some people that aren't able to get out of their cars because they have kids in the car, or can't get out of their car for various reasons. Right. And so for them, it would cater to them to be able to have the coffee and not have to bypass it. So, but...
Well, that might be something you do in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not in this location.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
So you'd have to have like Cafe Fresco too. Yeah.
Sounds like you should own Cafe Fresco too. You'd be good.
Yeah, I probably would be. Actually.
You should.
Oh, that's funny. I never thought about that. My daughter has thought about that, but I've not thought about that. Yeah, she's kind of a coffee connoisseur and works for one of the bigger name franchises. So, but I think, in her world it would be nice to have something small and where you can kind of direct how it feels and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, and that's what's nice about the square, because I think they've maintained like all the small businesses, and I think that's cool that like franchises don't come onto the square, because I think, like you said, having the small businesses and having that like idea of small businesses has been really cool. Yeah. Because like all the square people really get along and really support each other, which it felt like I was coming into a family when I came onto the square, Really? Like, I think a lot of people wouldn't assume that that's how it is. Never. Even with us and other coffee shops, I mean, there's 3 great coffee shops within a mile of us. Yeah, there are. And it's just been awesome to have, like, that support for them and them support us, to not, like, feel like there's ever any competition, to feel like we're all just supporting each other, we're all just helping each other. I think because they know that we're all in this together. Like, we're all small business owners. We're trying to make it. We're trying to survive. And so to be able to support each other is cool, because it's like we're all trying to do the same thing. Like, why would we try to compete?
Well, and that probably all adds to what somebody feels when they come in here. Yeah. And when I met Breanne last week, and I said something about, well, you've got a coffee store right next door, and and I just assumed, because we would, that there would be like a like a little bit of hostility between the two.
No, I love Rhonda's super nice. She's always, she comes in here, I go in there, and it's been great, because it's like we're all local businesses supporting each other, which is cool. And I don't know if it's the same in every town or just Crown Point, but that's what's been really cool, is just to have that like feeling like you don't have to compete with anybody,
I don't think I can't imagine any other town that would exist. Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't think people are wired that way.
Well, and I don't know if it's because we have a square and a downtown that's where that community aspect comes from.
No, I'm not thinking that.
No?
No.
Okay.
Because the only thing that comes to mind, or the first thing that comes to mind, is Valparaiso.
Yeah.
Because it's just like Valpo Compound. And it's just kind of, I feel like a flip-flop there, but and different dynamics in either. But I can't imagine that kind of support exists on the downtown square. Oh, heavens.
Oh, then I'm just really
No.
blessed in
You
Crown
really
Point.
are.
That's awesome.
Well, you know what? I have to say, it's like this, like the sleeves that find their way to us.
Yeah.
This location pulled you in.
Yeah.
It found you and said, "Come on in here."
Yeah. No, and I've always loved the square. Like, even when I was little, we would always walk up here because my parents live really close to the square.
Yeah.
And so it's like I had such good memories. And when I bought the building, I was like, now I can have a place on the square that I used to come all the time when I was little. You know, we would come in Fiesta Mexico, which is what the business used to be.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like now to own the building of like a restaurant I used to always go to. It's really cool.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. It's
And
awesome.
you're young.
Yeah. I just turned 31 now.
Okay, happy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
so
you're that young.
I know. No, but it's good because I feel like I have the energy to keep going. Like,
Sure.
I have the energy to have this building, have this business, and like be able to keep going with that momentum, which is cool because I feel like if I would have done it later in life, that I may not have had the same energy. I don't know. But
Oh, do you know that's important? Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I've heard that before from. Wow, that's funny. I have a friend who I interviewed as well who has a food truck business.
Oh, awesome.
It's so awesome. She operates it out of a vintage camper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Mother Williams Marshmallow Factory.
Oh, yeah, I know them. Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
don't like
they're
her.
super
We'll have to
nice.
connect you.
Yeah.
But she made the
Yeah.
comment when we were doing the interview of like she gets lots of opportunities and invitations to franchise and to sell the business.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and she could go crazy with it.
Yeah.
She actually puts in mechanisms to keep it tampered down. And she's like, Terry, if I were a younger woman, I would be
Yeah.
all over this, but I'm not. So that would definitely, without question, would impact that. So
No, which I think is something you don't really think about, though. Like, when I had bought the building, I was 22. And so back then I had a lot of energy, almost the same as I have now. And so I'm able to, like, maintain both of those things and, like, come up with new ideas or find different ways to do something that I don't know if I would have if I was, like, in my 40s or 50s. So,
True.
I don't know.
Well, and there's, I think, like, just how we're wired as people.
Yeah.
The older that we get, the more that they, like, tested brains and all that. Like,
Yeah.
they know
There's a lot of research.
There's science behind this girl.
Exactly.
That's, 22 years old?
Yeah. I went to the sheriff's sale at the county. Lake County has a auction every month, the first Friday of every month.
Yeah, for taxes? Or
Yeah.
was it? Yeah. Oh, my.
So I went to the sheriff's sale. I was the only one there. And like, okay, you in the building. I'm like, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
It's
amazing.
crazy. Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
then, well, it speaks volumes to me of who you are, you know, and you don't just decide one day you're going to do that, especially at such a young age. You have to be very much a visionary and a risk taker and all that stuff you just take in stride.
Well, I think like my parents said, like at that point I had nothing to lose. I didn't have children. I wasn't married. Like
Right. You weren't tethered.
I didn't have anything to lose. I could buy the building and be fine. You know, like my dad and my mom had children when they were that age, so they couldn't risk like buying a building and what do we do with the children, you know?
Right.
Like me, I didn't have anything to lose, so it was like I could do that at that point in my life, which was awesome because it was just the perfect timing for everything.
Wow. And so let's go back to that point in time that you're here, you're buying this building at such a young age. So what were you doing? Did you go to college?
I was nannying. Well, yeah, I went to college, so I went to Purdue Lafayette.
Okay.
I got my bachelor's degree in psychology.
Okay.
And I nannied through the whole time I was in school. And then when I graduated, I worked as a psychologist for a year at a battered women's shelter. And I decided that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have the personality for it because I wanted to take everyone home with me.
Yes.
That's what
Yes. Your heart's too big.
It was just hard because they always say like separate your work and your personal life. I couldn't do that personally.
No.
There's so many amazing people that can do that. I just can't. I can't separate it. So after a year, I finished with that, and I this guy retiring from the cafe.
Oh,
so he asked if I wanted to buy it, and then I shipped it up to Crown Point. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was awesome.
the courage. I mean, I just look at that and I'm like, you're just
I
going.
had nothing to lose.
Yeah, but still. How people get wired and how they land where they land, and yeah, that's just amazing.
Well, it was funny because it cost more to ship it up on the Mayflower semi than it did to actually buy the stuff.
To understand it.
Yeah.
Because what a selfless job.
The groceries, like
Yeah.
they just say like to know that someone's thinking about me or like cares about me speaks volumes about like what's happening, you know. And it's like
Right.
those simple things that you would say like, oh, what's $6? Like it doesn't matter, but like in that day, like you were thinking about someone or like you did something nice for someone, and so that's priceless, you know.
Because there's not enough of that out there. I mean,
Well, which is unfortunate that has to be like such a big deal because of the lack of like situations like that.
I wish there was a little more of it, for sure.
Yeah.
But we don't want to be inundated with it because then we would be.
You wouldn't appreciate it as much,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is so interesting because, like, of course, it makes things make sense to me, you know.
Yeah.
So when I first found your shop here.
Yeah. Which is awesome because then it's like the whole day's paid for, and same with Joe from Texas, and like all these people, Sandy, who pays every Christmas for people's drinks in here, and
right.
like to see that people want to be a part of that, you know.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. That they do. That they feel compelled to do that.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, I have to, you know, again, coming back to you and like what an interesting balance that you are as a person is like with a huge heart, but then also just profound business savvy.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, this girl's sharp. Sharper than me.
That's good because I didn't have school smarts, so it's good that I have something.
But I think if you didn't have that sharpness to you as a business person, that you might have gotten yourself in trouble or, you know, not been able to sustain, but those two things blending together, like keeps you in check. Like I love that you lead with your heart, and then you got your business heart. Because, whoa, wait a minute.
That part comes after.
Yeah, but
slowly
it comes
after. Yeah, it comes.
But it comes
just eventually. Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody who's been turning in. We've had a little bit of a sketchy production here on Facebook Live, so bear with us. There's been a couple of times I've had to restart our camera, but we are tuned in today to WVLP at 103.1 FM. Also live streaming at wvlp.org. And I want to thank everybody who is listening, and also let you know community radio is funded by the community, so we are open to any donation you feel that you'd like to give. You can do a one-time donation or recurring donation. You can do $5 at wvlp.org/support. It's pretty simple. Trust me, I've done it.
You're an expert then.
That's right. It's easy to navigate. You got to do it before you tell people to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, anybody tuning in, I have the opportunity today to interview I just feel like I could spend hours with you and still not know you all the way. Like there'll be just like more and more things coming. Oh, look at that. I'm interviewing Breanne Zolfo. She's the owner of Cafe Fresco on the square in Crown Point. And she had passed my radar it's probably been a couple of years, you know, that I've been coming here now.
A long while, yeah.
Yeah, but not 6.
No, yeah, but a long time.
Yeah, that has been a long time.
Yeah.
That has been a long time. So because I enjoy, you know, different coffees, and so it's just a nice place to come and I never, you know, I think that it's the recent publicity of the media that you've been getting that made me think, oh, I wonder if she'd let me interview her from a radio show.
Yeah.
So I think that I saw something in the Chicago Trib.
Yeah.
Was the first thing.
Yeah, that was the original. It started it all.
And I thought, oh my goodness, here's this little gal in Crown Point with this great coffee shop. But then recently you had the opportunity for an interview with CBS out of New York.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was so crazy. It was such a good experience, though. Like, they had called me because they had read the article in the Chicago Tribune, and when he called me, it was on my birthday. So he calls January 3rd.
Stop.
And I was like, I couldn't believe that he was calling. He's like, hi, this is Joe from CBS New York. And I just freaked out. And he said that they had read the Chicago Tribune. They wanted to fly out to do a segment and interview me, and it was crazy.
Oh,
it was
my
so crazy.
On your birthday?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
That would be amazing.
It was so crazy. So then at the time he said we're coming out January 22nd. And I'm like, oh, that's years away.
Yeah.
Like from January 3rd to January 22nd, that's a long time.
Oh, no. To me, I'm like, oh, that'll be right there.
So then they flew out, and the producer flew out, and the host, and the cameraman, and everyone came here, and they stayed 8 hours, and getting different footage and different angles and interviews, and it was awesome. They were such a good team. They were so, so nice. And that's what I always wonder, like when you see these people on TV, and then they're in real life, like did their personalities match how they are, and you know? So I was super nervous when they were coming because I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna act. Like I don't know how it's gonna be.
Well, and that's like big time to me. Oh my goodness, to be on the news. That's oh my gosh, exposure. But and then they're coming from New York. Then you're thinking, oh, New York people aren't the same as the Midwest. Wonder if they're going to be cold or wonder if they're going to be. You know.
No, and they were just like the most welcoming people. They were just so nice. And because I had hung out with them all day, I felt like we were friends. You know, like the cameramen were the nicest guys, and Joe, the producer, is the nicest person. He does all the shows on CBS. So he does CBS This Morning, and other shows with Gail King, and yeah, he's just the nicest guy. And then the host, Meg Oliver, she was super nice and made me feel relaxed and calm and like, it's okay, Breanne, like we can do this. And it was just a cool experience. Such great people. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. That's some insight I don't think I would have ever had. And it's not, you're right, I would have guessed the way you originally guessed.
Well, and that's what I didn't know what to expect. And they even came with us to Aldi's and filmed us at Aldi's.
You're kidding.
And so, like, and that was cool. They had to mic me up, and they had all the cameras everywhere. And so I wasn't able to be as natural as I usually am. But, like, just for them to share in our Aldi's experience was huge, you know?
Wow.
Because it's like that gets that much more, that more people can help us with the Aldi's or help us with, like, different things that we're doing just to have, like, that much more help from the community, which is cool.
Well, the awareness is huge.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So did some of the Aldi stuff get into the footage then of what was broadcast?
So the Aldi's is in the broadcast. It's been broadcast 3 times now on different. Well, which was crazy because my grandma had called me on Saturday and she goes, Breanne, it was on the CBS Nightly News on Saturday. Oh, and they don't tell me when it airs. Yeah. They just keep airing it. And so, and that just created a whole buzz again. And it's cool because then people are like, we want to be a part of your mission. We want to help you. Please tell us how we can help you. And so every time it's aired, it's that many more people that could be a part of our mission. Right. Which has always been my goal. Like, how do I get more people in our mission? How do we keep giving random acts of kindness? How do we keep giving back to communities? And not just the Crown Point community. Like, how can we touch the nation? How can we go to different communities around and spread the same seed to other areas? You know, like that's always in the back of my head. How can I spread this seed to other areas? Right. So, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Awesome. That's amazing.
Really, really good. Yeah.
If I come up with the answer to that, I'm going to call you.
Yeah, please do. I need the answer. I need to know how.
Well, it does feel like it's something that you could do. And when you said nationwide, I was like, no, this could be a worldwide conversation.
Or anything. Yeah. I mean, I just want to spread it because I feel like what we're doing is missing in the economy now and in like society. Right. And it's such a simple idea, but it just needs a way to like be mass produced, you know, to other countries or other places. And I think the CBS thing did exactly that because it was broadcast across the whole country. Right. And people from everywhere have been reaching out to us and like, we just want to be a part of the mission. And that was always my dream from the beginning. Like, how do I get other people a part of it, you know?
Well, I think you're doing it. And I think it's like anything else. It's almost like that ripple effect. Yeah. Like this is just one circle of the ripple and it's going to ripple out and ripple out and ripple out. I think that the only, like I get a big caution with it. And the caution is that you always want to be spearheading that.
Yeah. And how do I do that?
Well, that'll come because you figured out other things easily. Yeah. So I don't worry that you won't figure that out, but just that don't give up the reins to that because. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think we're human beings, you know. Yeah. And somebody could fall off course of that. I mean, that is so hardwired for you. Yeah. Yeah. There isn't anything. I don't think anything could happen to you in your life that's going to change that you operate that way. Yeah. It's that. Yeah. And I can't say that of other folk. Yeah. So that's where the caution comes up. But I think like you said, if you just keep, or I don't know if you said it or I'm thinking it, if you just keep asking, you know, and the opportunities will present themselves the way that they have.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I do is I backed into this radio show, you know, a year ago.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, it was. I was like, I wasn't looking for this, right?
Yeah.
But here I am, and here I'm doing it. And this summer, I got really tired, you know, and I thought, I just can't do this anymore, you know, because this doesn't pay my bills. You know, I've got to go out there and make donuts other ways.
Yeah.
And so I was actually going to give it up. And I thought, well, I'm going to contact the owner of the station and meet with him and gratefully tell him wonderful things that I've experienced because I couldn't do it. And that night, I went to sleep and I had the last thing I thought was, I backed into this for a reason. How can I serve?
Yeah.
And what came out of that is that next morning I woke up and I created a youth empowerment program.
Oh, wow.
I know. And within a couple of hours, it was all there. You know, I was like designing it and I was like, oh my goodness. So it all comes flooding in. And I took it to a local Boys and Girls Club. And I worked with the kids over a 6-week period of time to create their own 1-hour radio broadcast.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's
amazing.
Awesome.
Oh, Breanne, it was so cool to watch what happened with these kids and who they became.
Yeah.
Like they were like morphing. Every week I'd go in and they would be different, you know, because they were coming into themselves. They were being listened to.
That's amazing.
Know? Yeah. So from there, this last fall I actually approached the Lake County Juvenile Detention Center to speak there because I speak as well.
Okay.
And I just felt like my heart was going, you need to get in here and talk to these people. And I had the opportunity to present to the girls. And the judge reached out and he said, the feedback, Terry, is great. Will you keep coming back? I'm like, yeah, I'll come back, you know. And he said, what else do you have? And so tomorrow we're going in and we're setting now finally the dates to bring the radio show program. I know, to these kids that are
awesome.
Is this awesome or what?
Yeah, that's huge.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big. It's big.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. It's funny because I feel like, you know, with our youth, especially, like they have things that they need us to hear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I believe that we want to hear them. We're just not listening.
Yeah.
So kind of the whole thought with going into the detention center is that, you know, when watching what happened to the kids at the Boys and Girls Club, how they kind of elevated their self-worth, like they just were like incredible by the end of this.
Sure.
That if I can bring that to those kids as well, but then it also gives them an opportunity to tell us what they're thinking about. And I don't have to agree with you, you know, but what's going on between your ears? I want to know what's in there.
Just to be able to vocalize it, though, is huge. And to have someone listen is really, really big.
Huge.
Yeah.
And it, the hardest thing to get over with the Boys and Girls Club with that experience was, and it took like 2.5 sessions till the kids finally got it, was I kept having to say, no, wait a minute, this is your radio show.
Yeah.
It's under my umbrella, but I'm not going to tell you what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. You're
going to design it. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
What's important to you?
Well, which makes them feel important when they are able to decide.
Yes.
Because they feel like they have a part in that and they can make a decision of what they want to say. And to know that so many people are going to hear them is cool. Because I think a lot of times they would feel like they're not heard or that no one wants to listen to them. And like to actually feel like someone cares and somebody does want to listen to them makes a huge difference in their lives.
It did.
Yeah, I'm
it
sure.
Did. It was
sure.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a cool experience. So yeah, that's so now we're at the place of, you know, going through the county, you know, the things that you have to do to get into that system is a little bit more challenging. But so yeah, that's tomorrow's meeting, and I cannot.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait. Yeah, it's going to be. I know, isn't it? And and I have to give a shout out to the judge that oversees the juveniles here in Lake County, because his commitment, Judge Stefaniak, has always been to bring things to the kids that show them a different way of living, a different life, something that they may not have access to, and allow them to maybe polish up something they didn't even know they had.
Yeah.
You know, so this was, when I told him about the program, he was like, yeah, this is right up my alley. So we got to get this in here.
That's amazing.
It's so cool.
Well, it's cool that it created that like effect after you were thinking about like what you should do. and then you just got one after another, and I feel like that was the answers you needed to what you were thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's
Absolutely.
cool to have that like affirmation of like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know? Like that's such a good feeling for anybody to know like I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. Like to have that peace inside of you is awesome. Like that's priceless.
And you've got to have that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I can relate to you.
Yeah.
I feel that same peace and like this is
Yeah.
exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like there's no doubts, no questions. Like this is exactly.
So here's the way it comes to me too, is that it's for now.
Yeah.
For right now.
Yeah.
This is where I need to be. This
Yeah.
is where I need to play, you know, and how I need to be contributing.
Yeah.
But then, you know, there's more things coming.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, if you can create that much in that little time, there's way more things for you.
you think that's a little bit of time? I
Yeah.
think it's been forever.
No, that's a short time.
Really?
Yeah, in a whole span of a life, that's short.
Oh, see, to me, it's like, come on.
No,
now.
to you it is. To you. But that's a
Check
short.
my mailbox every day.
No, it's short to be able to create that much in such a short period of time. Like, think of what you're capable of, you know?
Big
Like,
stuff.
to be able to do that in, like, that short of a time. Like, you could do so many more bigger, like, more amazing things now. If you could do all that and that, you know?
Okay.
Like, that's awesome.
I guess I needed that perspective
That's
shift today.
huge.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I guess it's been 6 months. And
Oh,
I don't
that's
think
nothing. If I
Isn't
think
it
of
funny?
6 months and 31 years, like, that's
Yeah.
a small portion of my whole life.
Right.
Like, that's a
Oh,
lot.
that's, yeah. Okay, so thank you. I needed that today.
Yeah.
That was my gift. There are bigger things that are coming my
Oh,
way.
yeah. Much
Yeah.
much bigger.
Yeah, this is just I'm
Just
not
the
sure what that-
beginning.
yeah, just the
Just
beginning.
the beginning.
Yeah, and it almost feels like to me, and it isn't for this reason, but it's almost like it's something that'll serve for sure, and my commitment is to help people create extraordinary lives. Yeah, that's what
See,
drives
that's
me.
huge.
Yeah, that's my commitment.
That's
what
huge.
wakes me up and gets me rolling. It's almost like it's a dot. You know, it's a dot that connects to the connects to the connects to the connects. So it feels like something like that, but
Yeah.
but it remains to be seen where it leads me. But
That's awesome. See?
you're awesome.
You're
I'm like,
doing big things. That's cool. No, I'm always inspired by people that like you. I mean, you think that it's not big, but like both of those things are really big. To be able to like, for the Boys and Girls Club or like the Juvenile Detention Center, like if you could do both of those things, like it's just gonna like explode from there with like what you're capable of or the possibilities, and like to know that those two things are gonna create something bigger is really cool.
what I know is that, you know, those kids it just happens that they're the youth, but they're part of the community.
Yeah.
You know, that's who's going to be standing next to me at Aldi. That's going to be
Yeah.
who's driving next to me on the expressway. That's part of who creates my world.
Yeah.
You know, and if one life can be better, then we all win,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
I figure
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, right,
Exactly.
right. Oh, that's so.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
And who'd have thought I'd be sitting here?
See, it was meant to be.
Of course,
It was
of
meant
course.
to be.
Right, right. It's just how we. That must be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That must be it. But it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like staying patient has been the hard thing. I've got a few more years on you, so
Yeah.
I have had these callings and stirrings since my 20s.
Really?
Oh yeah, without question. Yeah, things I used to daydream about. You know, in my car. You
Yeah.
know, when I grew up, I went to. You know, and I was never felt ready until my 40s. So yeah.
Everyone has their time.
We do.
Yeah.
But and the part of me is like, you know, by the time it all gets rolling, I'll go, gosh, I really wish this would have happened in my 30s. Only
It wouldn't have been
because-
the right timing, though.
Well, no, it couldn't
Yeah,
have been.
yeah,
No way.
yeah,
No way.
yeah.
Had you met me then,
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that. So, but only because there are so many more people I could have served.
Yeah.
There's so many more lives, and yeah, I've had.
Your life isn't even close to over.
No, I
You
know,
have plenty more years. plenty.
Knock on something. Yeah, but I want to be
Plenty.
like mobile through all of those.
You got
so-
plenty of years.
Yeah. Well, thank you for those words, because that's quite a confirmation. And I'll stop thinking that it's taken an eternity to get here. I guess
It's a small part, and like you're doing something big in that time, and I think that everything happens to us when we're able to handle it, or like when we're capable of handling
Right.
it. So if it would have happened in your 30s, maybe you weren't in the right mindset, or you weren't in the right part of your life. And so it needed to happen at this exact moment to be able for you to do it in your full capacity. Because you wouldn't have wanted to only give part of yourself to that mission or that idea.
No, I don't, and I think too, it's like that, that program it has a life of its own.
Yeah.
And it's got something it needs to do. I just happen to be the person who's gifted to facilitate it.
Which is awesome.
It's really.
That's a big responsibility.
Well, it's such a gift.
No, I'm sure.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sure.
Oh my goodness. To be with these kids, it's like, wow. But because it has something to do. So to me, there's like no accidents of the timing, and
Yeah.
we may not understand it, but we're not supposed to. Okay, no worries. But when the judge had reached out to me and he said, okay, tell me about this radio program. And we made this decision that we have to get this up and running as soon as we can.
Yeah.
As he says, Terry, I'm driving up from this conference in Indianapolis, and I just left a room with 150 other people just like me who are looking at the system and saying, what we're doing with our kids right now is we're rewarding them for good behavior.
Yeah.
So keep your nose clean here, we'll give you a cookie. Keep your nose clean a little bit more, we'll give you a cookie.
Yeah.
And it does nothing to empower them.
Yeah.
And we all sat around in this conference saying, what can we do? And he said, would you be open to doing a little bit of videoing of me? And I'm like, well, yeah. Because I love to video myself.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's okay. It's all good.
I know. I'm like, oh. So he said what he would like to see is for us to do, actually create something that would be a statewide initiative.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See?
Right? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
I know, but then I'm going to need help.
You know who to call.
Right?
You know where to find me. Yeah.
Like, you got a few hours every week. You can.
I'm good.
Would you do that?
I would love to. I would
Really?
love to. Yeah.
Oh, Breanne, that would be like amazing.
I would love to.
You'd be amazing
Yeah.
at this. Wow.
No, that would, yeah.
Because the
That would be
logistics are pretty
awesome.
simple. It's the engaging. It's
No, I would love that. Because they're all part of the
wow.
community. I would love that.
Yeah, they really
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
They really are. And oh my. Oh, good. Ha! This is exciting. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I got my first person to help me through this, because Boys and Girls Club is a different place to facilitate it. I mean, you're just dealing with a different group of kids. But I think if you would be interested in doing it in the...
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Maybe that's the reason for all that good schooling.
See? I used to teach English as a second language to the parents of the Boys and Girls Club in East Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a great organization.
they're such a good company.
Yeah,
It's such a good
amazing.
company. Yeah.
And and I met with them, and they wanted to put this program in through all the clubs, but they are so blessed to have so many people offering programs.
Yeah.
That we haven't moved forward with it, which is okay, because I guess it needs to go into the juvenile justice system. So
No, I'd love to be a part of that. I would.
girl, oh my gosh,
be
I'm
awesome.
so excited.
I
You
would
do know
love
how
that.
excited I am.
Yeah. No, I would
Everybody on
love
radio,
that.
they can hear my voice because they know me. So that's in my world. So we've got a few more minutes left. I want to know what's coming up for you. Anything on the horizon? Anything?
I'm just
on
trying to
your radar?
brainstorm now about how to spread it to other communities. Like, that's my main focus now, is like now with CBS that was able to reach other parts of the country.
Right.
Like, how do I duplicate this mission and like this community love to other places? And that's what I've just been racking my brain the past month or so to, like, how do I spread this to other communities, Like, how does it reach other areas? I'm going to do it 100%, but it's just a matter of like getting the wheels in motion now.
One thing that comes to mind is I just listened, and I'll have to connect the dots for you, but I just listened to a podcast of a woman who does something called Sidewalk Talks.
Okay.
And she had the educational background that you did, right? And what she just started was setting up 2 folding chairs on a major intersection of a city.
Oh, wow.
And she invites people just to sit down, and all that she does is listen.
Which is huge.
Huh.
It's huge.
Doesn't fix,
Yeah.
doesn't counsel, doesn't coach, just listens.
Yeah.
And that initiative has gone across the U.S.
Oh,
Not that I would say
sure.
duplicate that,
Yeah, yeah.
but the reason why I say listen to that podcast and other things like that is, and I could be wrong, but my sense is that there needs to be a bit of expansion
Yeah. Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And I think because you've created it in the way that you've created it,
Yeah.
because you've brought it out through your coffee shop.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having done it that way leads you to believe that like your mind just starts to funnel, and then like it's got to come through something like that, or this was a way that it worked well. Look at how it's, and so when you were asking the question, I was asking the question as well, like how does she get this out there? And my first thought was, well, gosh, she's got to find other coffee shops. No, maybe just other small businesses. So maybe just, and then I went, no. Wait a minute. It's like almost like you, and this is going to sound really strange. It's almost like it's like a whiteboard, and you just need to wipe it off, and have a clear slate, and just be completely open to
whatever happens.
Possibility.
Oh, I'm
which
very,
you are
very
anyway.
Open. Yeah.
But I think because we've already got coffee shop on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Does it make any sense? If I were coaching you, I would say start opening yourself up and just asking for things to hit your radar that feed any and all possibility, like the sidewalk talks.
Yeah.
And I know that there are other things as well.
Yeah.
Other things as well. What was fascinating, and I'll just share this about sidewalk talks, anybody out there looking for it, but was she said the most profound thing that she's experienced is, once people got aware that what she was doing there, is men that would stand in line to take. We could a little easier job as women, right? So, of how much she feels that, men that'll come and start to talk and then start to sob and let a lot of things go that they've been holding, and we had nowhere to share. So anyway, that kind of thought out there. So to me, it's almost like when you were just giving me the gift, and you said, Terry, 15 years ago, the world might not have been ready for your radio show program in this, and you wouldn't have been ready for it. So it's almost the same. I'm going to parrot it back. Is that whatever your next step is going to be requires you to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Because I know that collectively in the world, according to Terry, we are ready for it.
Yeah.
We are hungry for it.
I think it's needed. Very much so.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
And I think it feels like you're pretty much ready. Like maybe just another degree or two. Yeah.
I'm very ready. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This is what
gracious.
I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad always said you could do anything you set your mind to. He would tell us that every single day when we woke up. You could do anything you set your mind to. And I always believed that wholeheartedly. Like, I'm going to set my mind to it, and I'm doing it. That I know I'm doing it. Yeah.
You are supposed to do something huge and global.
That's the goal.
Can you feel that it's global?
I know it's going to go across. Once it starts, it's going to build the momentum. I know I'm supposed to spread this to the world.
Yeah. Right. Global. That's what it is. It feels very global to me.
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it is going to be
Stay tuned.
Awesome. Yeah, no kidding. Can I?
You can.
Can we stay connected?
Yes,
Sometimes
of course.
we're stay connected anyway.
Yes.
Like, oh my goodness, not just
Yes.
when I stop in for coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think we're both going to be doing some pretty huge things to change the consciousness out there. And I think it's needed.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I think we all need it. Some of us more than others, but we go where we go, we land where we land with that. I'll have to start thinking about that. I mean, if I get some ideas, can I?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. Please reach out to me. Yeah.
Yeah, because usually when I think about things like that, I usually start to. I think I just need to catch a breath, because you've been so generous to me today. So my head's a little cloudy.
That's good.
I'm a little fuzzy,
You're good.
girl. I'll get in my car and cry, and then I'll drive and I'll cry.
Okay, we need that sometimes. We need to cry.
We do.
That's a good feeling.
Wow.
Let it all out.
Right.
Yeah,
It's joy cry.
It's okay. Any cry is good.
Right.
Feels good.
I love it. Well, we'll definitely have to connect again. I mean,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, not even just around radio, but definitely around coffee. Because look, I've been drinking coffee for over years, so I don't usually do that. And I would love to avail myself to that conversation with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah, I would be honored to do that. I coach quite a few people. But this would be just a gift of love.
Thank you.
Yeah, because wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, just be part of that. So we'll have to set up time for that.
Sounds
Schedule
good.
it like a must do once a month. We have to sit down and we have to start. And I don't
That'd
think
be awesome.
It's not going to take you very long at all.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at that with the CBS thing. It's almost like, okay, so here's how it feels to me, because things come to me and feel all the way down to the gas pedal to floor it.
Yeah.
With that. And you know, like, I don't know if you've ever floored it before.
Oh, I have.
I have too.
I have a need for speed. It's one of my weaknesses.
Oh, there we go. Right?
Yeah.
But you know that second, like when you floor it and all of a sudden it takes a second to your car, goes,
Yeah, and kicks it in.
You're in that second.
Yeah.
That's where you are right now. It's just that. That's why I know it's not very long around the corner for you. So it's just that to your car goes, whoa, we're moving. We're winding down on time, but there are already some thoughts coming up, so I'll have to share those when we're off the air.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody who's tuning in. You've been listening to WVLP at 103.1 FM, also live streaming at WVLP.org. Today's show was brought to you by Ryan Eberhardt from Diamond Residential Mortgage. Ryan, always, always, always my gratitude goes to you for supporting my show and supporting community radio. If anyone needs a mortgage, he is able to serve the state of Indiana and I think other states as well, so reach out. His office is located at 350 Northland Drive in Valparaiso, and his direct phone line is area code 219-707-8429. Thank you, Breanne Zolfo.
Thank you.
It's been a wonderful interview.
It's been awesome.
Stop in Cafe Fresco on the square in Crown Point, Indiana, and if she's here, look her up and give her a wave.
Thank you.